Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today what we're going to be going over is a first video in a series of art tip videos, and this one's title is 5 tips for successful art studies. And so I'm going to go over 5 basic tips that I used in the painting that's going to be shown in the video, and I'm going to outline my tips with the example of what I did for this study. And I just want to acknowledge as well that I've just passed 50 subscribers on the channel, and so I thank you and I appreciate each one of you subscribing to my channel, and I hope that you'll stick around and enjoy the video and the next videos that I'll be producing for you guys. Okay, so let's get to it. So the first tip that I have is number 1, what is the purpose of the study? So in this study that I did of the still life study, the purpose of it was I created a couple of brushes and I wanted to test them to achieve a painterly look. And so that ties into the second tip that I have, which is what is the goal you are trying to achieve with the study? So the goal was for me to achieve a painterly look with the digital media, and so I created these brushes specifically to try and achieve that painterly feel and look to the work that I was doing in this study. So that moves us on to the next one. So in this study you'll see that I actually choose my palette before I start painting. So for me personally, this is what I found works the best, is that in the beginning of a painting or study or whatever it is I'm doing, taking the time to choose a limited amount of colors for the palette and put in the midtones, the shadows, and the highlight colors or values. It's really helpful to me to not keep going picking different colors and just ending up with something that doesn't have any harmony in it. And obviously you don't have to be a slave to the palette that you've got. So if you paint the image and you see that after you've painted it, it's lacking in highlights, a few highlights are needed, or the shadows aren't dark enough in certain areas, you can go back and choose colors, add them into the painting. Definitely for me, this one really helps me to keep the painting under control and in the value range that I've outlined beforehand. So, moving on, number 4. This one is really important, which is the importance of greys. And so what I mean by that is, if you are painting a painting in color, using desaturated warm or cool colors is really important, especially in the areas where there's not going to be a lot of saturated color. So for me, like, the bounce light is going to have less saturation in it than the direct light that's hitting an object. And so the bounce light in this study is actually desaturated colors that look grayish but are still filled with a bit of color saturation. And so they're really important in painting because it means that your eye can rest and it's not overwhelmed by all these colors in every area of the painting, and it feels hard to look at and it's quite jarring. So it allows the eyes to rest and it doesn't overwhelm the viewer. Okay, and last but not least, number 5 is composition of the study. So once you find your reference image and you're painting it, if it doesn't feel right on the canvas that you've selected and you need to crop it or move it around or change it slightly, that's perfectly fine. Don't be a slave to the reference that you have. You don't have to be a slave to the reference that you have. You can change it, you can crop it, you can edit it to fit into stylistically or compositionally what you're trying to achieve with the study. You don't have to copy the reference one for one. Right, so the last thing is, once you achieve what you set out to accomplish with the study is finished. So as you can see in my study, once I'd achieved that painterly look, I said that's done, it's finished, and I moved on to the next thing. So I'm not wasting time. I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. I've learned what I needed to learn through the study, and I'm not wasting time over rendering it because that's not the purpose of the study. I'm not trying to create something photorealistic in this study. If that's your goal, then obviously you can render it until you have the look that you're trying to achieve with the study and what you're trying to learn and gain from doing that study. So don't get stuck in over-rendering the study unless your goal is to create some kind of photorealistic painting or something like that. Or a material study where you really want to render perfectly the material. But in general, when doing a study, obviously it's just a study, so you're not going to be necessarily showing it to anyone. It's not going to be something that you're going to put in your portfolio. It's just something you're doing to learn and improve your own art. So guys, that's the end of this video. That's the end of this video and the first in the series of my art tip videos. I hope it was helpful. I appreciate each one of you. And again, I thank you for each person that's subscribed. And if you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe and stick around. And hopefully my videos and my art tips can help you improve your art and help you on your artistic journey and help you to achieve the goals that you're setting out to achieve with it. I appreciate each person that subscribed and watched my videos. And each one of you is in my prayers. And I thank you for listening and watching. And I will see you again soon in the next video. Bye for now. Have a great day.